About 20 years ago, an FBI researcher agent, I actually don't know what she did at the Bureau then, she may have been an agent, did the primary research on what's called leakage. The idea that when you started with youth, it was school focused. Kids, it's now everyone, but youth talk about doing bad things before they do it, and it's called leakage. It was the idea that a note found or a comment made or a journal entry about self-harm or harm against others. And one of the things that the reason Social Sentinel exists is because we try to identify the leakage, before it turns into evidence of something having happened, in a preventative model. And one of the things you've got me thinking a lot about is, we have put effort into understanding homophobia and anti-Semitism and racism, but let's talk about homophobia. And is homophobia a term that encompasses the trans community as well?
Transphobia.
Yeah, it's transphobia, because I knew it doesn't.
Yeah.
All right, so it's homophobia and transphobia,
yeah.
right? I'm going to make a note of that because I want to make sure we're using the right language on that. That we're doing enough in the homophobia and transphobia in terms of how our system identifies, but I'm thinking maybe we're not doing enough. I mean, maybe I think there's probably always more to be doing.
Yeah.
And we're out looking for the leakage. And what I hear you saying is we want to support the community, the LGBTQ community, so that that indication of or the prevalence of them harming themselves, we can deal with that. And we're a company looking for signs of that. It's like we're...
Yeah. And it's so funny to, as I hear you sort of list them out, and we do it all the time, racism, sexism. When we get to homophobia and transphobia, it's suddenly a phobia and not an ism, right? Like, I'm arachnophobic. I hate spiders.
Point.
And so I see a spider in the shower and I'm like, and I jump out. And that's not what's happening here, right? Like, that's
totally
not
true.
So what's queer people?
Right. So what is the language is powerful, right? Noam Chomsky, the words we used to think with and speak with. What's the right word?
But I don't think I have one. But the reason I note it, and especially in the work that you're doing, is because I think there are many places in the country where you can use a type of defense that talks about, well, I was so afraid of this queer person that I couldn't.
I was afraid, so I had to right.
Exactly,
right.
I had to cause the harm because I was so caught up in how disturbing it was for me to see a person with a beard and a dress. And so I think so often about the way that we've constructed the way we approach LGBT community to allow for more leeway in your emotional and visceral response to that community as a cisgender heterosexual person.
That is really powerful. That's a big insight for me.
Yeah.
That's a metanoia for me, a shifting of the mind. That's phobia, you're right.